care of your family in the unexpected emergencies. And your family could be you, your family could be you and your friends, and your family could even be you and your dog. And you all deserve to have that peace of mind to know that at the very least, when things go awry, you have something quick and easy to rely on. So go check them out and use my code to get 15% off. That's SFC Treats. SFC Treats to get 15% off. And that's the highest discount they have to offer. So check them out and see what is going to work for you, because you deserve to feel safe and secure, and to secure that future by yourself. Hello, and welcome to Saffron Honey Chai. Now, I have a question for you. Did you read anything this year? And I mean, like a book or an article that was from a publication, not just an online listicle. I'm asking you this because I'm getting a little scared, y'all. I'm getting a little bit scared. This year, at the top of the year in January, the Department of Education released some pretty frightening statistics about literacy levels in adults and how they're decreasing. It's something like a 23% decrease versus just a 17% decrease from before. So most adults right now are reading at a third grade level, which actually explains a lot. I mean, given everything that's happening right now. I mean, if you check out even just the headlines, it seems like people aren't reading right now. A lot of people aren't reading right now. And it's more than a little bit concerning. It's more than a little bit. I would actually argue it's quite concerning. We used to be able to boast about our literacy level, like 99th percentile, and everyone's reading at a high level, especially since, everyone went into debt to go to college. But now literacy levels are dipping down super far. And there are a lot of reasons for that. Some people are saying, oh, well, maybe it's because of the pandemic and you're factoring in adults that became adults after having like 3 to 4 years where they didn't have a quality education because of lockdown. And I'm wondering, what is that going to look like in a few years? Because our littlest people who were children during the lockdown, they're about to become adults. The third graders and such who were already in school and were just getting their footing in the reading world. And then, so much time passed. Well, not third graders, like sixth graders. And now so much time passed and they're about to be adults. They're about to be 18. They're going to college now, but they're going to college in the age of ChatGPT and an age of hyper summarization. So people are not reading the thing. They're copy pasting it. They're putting it in the GPT. And then they're like, can you summarize this so I know the key points? So no one's even discerning what's important based on their own estimation anymore. No one's doing the skimming anymore. They're making a robot skim for them. And you guys know I have like a sort of love-hate relationship with AI. Like I like it. I use it for things that are beneficial to me. But I have my lines in the sand with AI because, there's limitations. There's limitations. At least in my heart there are. And I'm concerned because are we not reading because we don't have the time to read, or we don't have the access to read? Or are we not reading because we just don't want to? And I didn't know about this when I was like, oh, let's do a little summer reading challenge, over the summer after the librarians and we fell in love. But after that, I really did, after 2 weeks, I didn't start immediately because I like to procrastinate. But after my 2 weeks, I started reading and I realized, oh, I missed this. I missed this feeling of like you open a book or you open the ebook on your e-reader. And I'm not buying books right now. I'm just e-reading them because my bookshelf is full to bursting. It can't take another book. So I'm e-reading, and I started by rereading some of my old favorites, things that I like read as a child when I used to be a real literacy weapon. Like I told y'all before, I used to read 2 books a day, 2 full books cover to cover a day. And that was just like light work for me. Some days I was hitting 3 books a day if I could get away with it. But now I'm happy with my like quarter of a book a day or like 10 pages of a book a day. That's fine with me. And I'm starting to really get back that spark I used to have because there was a period of time where it was like books, 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 books. And then I was able to have the internet on my phone unsupervised. And then it was just fan fiction, fan fiction, fan fiction, fan fiction. 300,000 word long fan fictions. I'm talking the most insane novel length books you've ever read. I once read a full retelling of the Harry Potter series from start to finish, and it was way better. I don't want to say the name because I don't want J.K. Rowling to like unleash her wrath upon the author, but man, she did it 200,000 times better than Miss J.K. Rowling ever could. I loved it so much. And it's been giving me that feeling again, that passion for reading, for learning new things, for getting new information. And I need us all to get that. And maybe not in every way, but for us to like kind of slow it down and just like enjoy the book, enjoy the article. Because we can't keep going on like this. Right now, things are still happening. Legislations are still getting passed, executive orders are still getting written, things are still happening all around us. And if we have to participate in elections or participate in our greater world, we really need to actually be able to handle the bare minimum of interacting with it. We have to be able to read a tweet that's giving us information and understand the tweet in our native language that we are speaking right now. And if you speak another language, I think you should also, if it's within your ability level, be able to match up to some of the higher level basics. Someone should be able to verbalize things to you, to text you something, and you can understand it fully without them being like overly verbose, without them being overly verbose. We don't have to sit here and write each other long paragraphs. If we are able to communicate succinctly using what we already know, that would actually save us a lot of time too. Right now, at least I'm seeing this like also in relationships. There's a major communication issue as well because I mean, people are reading into things that are not really to be read into. They're reading into issues in the relationship based on activities when maybe you're lacking the information because you've spent so much time watching content online that makes it seem like that situation is more likely than what it really is. So, where you were before, okay, I'm reading these books, I'm seeing the relationship issues here and seeing all these nuances. Now you're watching 1 minute, 30-second long clips, 1 minute and 30-second long clips of like a relationship and all its issues and all the jump into conclusions. And now your brain is being primed to take that into the real life, into the real world, into your real life relationship with your real life partner. So we might need to slow it down. We might need to slow it down and increase our attention span because some of the things that are happening in the world right now, they're happening because they know it's very easy to overwhelm the human mind. It's very easy to do 16 things and just, okay, we're all fell now. We've all fallen. Let us all get underneath the blanket and just recuperate. We'll start again tomorrow. And then tomorrow they do 32 things. So if we expand the attention span and focus on what we can do, that will make it easier to handle the things that are happening in the world. I stopped reading the news because there was just constant headlines. And I just read like 2 news articles a day max, sometimes just one, about any given issue. So last week, there was the No Kings protest as of this recording. So I only read about that last week. So I would have as much information as I could have on that. And I didn't put a lot of effort into reading other things because otherwise it's so easy to get the information mixed up. It's so easy to sort of lose track of everything. That's the thing about literacy. Just because you're reading something doesn't necessarily mean that you're understanding it. You have to have the time to be able to critically think about the thing as well. So if you're taking your time to read it, you have to digest it as well. Everyone thinks about digestion like, oh, gut health, gut health, gut health. But your brain's health is very important in your ability to digest new information. So if every day you're taking in 100 micro headlines about 100 different conflicts in the world, you might as well have not read a damn thing because you don't know what's going on. You know the headline, and the headline can say something insane and incendiary, and then the bulk of the article is completely separate than what the article is saying that it's saying in the headline. So you have to focus in so you can think in your critical way. Now, for me, as I was telling you, the books are really helping me do that because I'm reading my books. I'm getting deep, deep, deep in these books right now. And I'm taking my time to think about them. And it's easier because I did start with things I already read before. So I'm rereading things and I'm getting to connect with those memories from like 10, 12 plus years ago. And I'm remembering, okay, this is what was happening to me around then. And that's what's happening, what was in the world around then. And this is how I feel about the book and how I feel about the book now with the new context that I have as an adult. As an example, I really value children. I value children's rights. I value children's education. One of the books that I reread was Chinese Cinderella by Adeline Yanma. I loved that book as a kid because I don't know, I love downer books about um, children enduring hardships, but then somehow making out in the end. And if you can write the book about your childhood, you at least survive to adulthood. And as I was rereading that book, with what I know now, I was taking in not only what I know slash what I knew then about like the common Cinderella story. Oh, she's downtrodden, she's this, she's that. But I was taking in what I knew about the time period that the book took place in. Now, when I was a child, I didn't know anything about World War II. I just knew about the Nazis and Germany and all that was happening there. I didn't realize that concurrently, all these things were happening in Asia with Japan. But since 12 plus years have passed since I first read that book, I now had a deeper level of context for what was happening in the background. I now understood the Japanese occupation she was talking about with regards to her city. I understood the rise of the communists that was happening in her city that she grew up in as a child because I understood, oh, okay, during this time, the Japanese fell out of power in China. And then now the communist forces did come back in to reclaim their nation. And then they did all these things to sort of equalize things. And that's why her family, he was a banker. The dad was a banker, which is like sort of a capitalist, not very in vogue at the time. So now that's why she was moving so much. That's why they were moving her around so much. That's where they're putting her here and there and there and there and moving themselves everywhere. And why the dad went into hiding. As a child, I was just like, that's weird that he's hiding. I guess he doesn't want to pay taxes or something. And now I understand he didn't want to get beaten to death with a bag full of quarters. He did not want to die a horrible death. I get it now. And that's like the gift I got of the context because since then I read things, I learned things, I knew things, I had important conversations with people about that time period. And now I also got the ability to say, okay, well, how's she doing now? I looked her up, 87 years old, she has kids. So, and she became a doctor. So she's really doing good. Keep in mind, when I was that age, I read her full memoir. I read her full entire autobiography that she wrote about herself. And I still didn't understand what the hell was going on. So, revisiting things and taking the time to absorb them and to look more deeply into things is a part of literacy as well. So you take that time, you expand upon it, you get in there. So this week, just pick something to focus on. One thing in the news at the top of the week. You focus on it and then you dig deep. So you don't have to go crazy and be like, oh, I'm going to read 4 books this week. 1 book is plenty, half a book, even hell. And then look up whatever is going on around that book or figure out what's going on in your world right now if you want to focus more on nonfiction things and the news, and then go from there. You have it in you. You can expand your understanding of the world and increase your attention span. It just takes a little time. And with that, it's been a pleasure. Please read something, anything. I'm begging you, please.